Hey, thanks again for pressing play. And welcome once again to another edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast. My name is John Voida, and I'm one of your co-hosts and the managing editor of BrightSideOfTheSun.com. Go check it out. We got a lot of great stuff happening over there, even though there are no games to be played. But I will say this, Matthew. Even though there's no games to be played, we're still going to play a game, aren't we?
We are. Monday night. I've been waiting all night for Sunday night. Oh, it's Monday night. Singing the wrong song. I'm excited. Yeah, we got a little game, guys. Thinking of some things to do to keep you guys occupied.
And keep ourselves occupied. That was a great Carrie Underwood rendition. I got to give it to you.
Yeah, she's a role model. I was going to put her poster up, but a little too risque.
I like the Phoenix Suns neon light you have behind you. I forgot about that light. That thing's dope.
Yeah, it's back up. I think I'm gonna get rid of the green screen stuff and just kind of build around me, and just start making things and building balls that are suns.
Just whittling. Just start
sit right here.
Becoming a whittler.
Yeah, there you go.
During the podcast, it's just you whittling the whole time. You got a block of wood and you're sculpting into a sphere to make a Phoenix Suns logo. I like
keep
it.
Busy. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go outside, so you might as well whittle away inside. So we're going to play a game here, Jamsters. Plenty to talk about, surprisingly, even though it is the last day of July. We're still coming to you live as we do every Monday night, and we're going to have an announcement at the back end of this podcast about some other bonus content that we're going to create just because we miss talking Suns. We got this kind of month and a half void ahead of us, and we've already gone through about 3 weeks of it, and there's still plenty to talk about. So make sure that you strap in, you hit that like button wherever you're absorbing this content. Give us a 5-star review. Follow me at Darth Voida on X or Twitter or whatever it's called. SpaceX. You can follow Matthew.
At Matthew Lissy.
And of course, you can follow the show at Suns Jam on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, all those places. But we don't really post much. But you can get some good polls that we have out there because we put a poll out there, and we'll talk about that at the back end of the podcast. But Matthew, I'm going to pop open this Fever Tree ginger beer. Got to continue. I'm going to get back on the Moscow Mule kick.
You took one night off, didn't you? Was it only one night?
No, I had
dehydrated.
I did I got so dehydrated I had a headache. But let's pour some of this in this with some lemon juice and some Kirkland vodka. And as they say, let's start the show. All right, Matthew, we're here to play a game tonight. And would you mind telling the Jamsters a little bit about the game that we're going to play?
Yeah, so I think, did you put all the players or is it just the actual free agents? I looked at the wheel, but I'm like, it seemed like a lot more names on there.
It's everybody who's new to the team this year, and Saban Lee.
Okay, yeah, thank God.
Because I needed 10
I love
players.
That guy. Okay. So what's going to happen tonight is we're going to have a wheel. We did this before. We had questions, and the Jamsters came on, and they actually answered it, which was a lot of fun. But this time, we're going to do the wheel, and then all the names of the new players on the Suns are going to be on there. First, we'll spin it. We'll spin it once, take one name, spin it again, take another name, and then we're going to challenge them. Be like, who are you most looking forward to this season to watch? It's not like 1 versus 1, like who's going to win a competition between the two, but who are you just most excited about? And I think that's a great idea, right? I think it's going to be a little bit of fun.
It's going to be completely random. Again, we have 10 new players. We actually have 9 new players, but we added Saban Lee to the mix. But, now that I think about it, we can actually take Saban Lee's name out because the Phoenix Suns actually had a roster addition today. They went utilizing one of their 3 two-way contracts. They have 2 left because they've signed Saban Lee, and they acquired former 27th overall pick in the 2020 draft, Udoka Azubuike. So somebody who played and was really a quality player at Kansas. He was the 33 overall recruit coming out of high school in 2016, and the Suns went and added him. So as I'm talking, I have added him to our little a wheel that we're about to spin here. And again, to Matthew's point, pretty simple game we're going to play, right? We're going to pick a player, we're going to pick another player, we're going to pit them against each other, and then we're going to have conversations about why we're more excited to see this player. Not is this player going to have a better season? Who knows? Maybe it'll evolve into that conversation. But let's go ahead and let's bring up the old wheel. It's been a while since we've brought out the wheel of names, and let's see if it still works. Can we see that, Matthew? Do you see the wheel?
I do see it. Yes.
There's the wheel.
Yeah,
The 10 who are watching, I hope you can see the wheel too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give the wheel a spin. There we go. It's spinning.
Big money.
And it's Yuta Watanabe.
Oh, starting out strong.
Okay, Yuta Watanabe. And we're going to pit him against Toumani Camara.
All right.
Toumani Camara. Okay, so that's what we're working with right here. We're going with Yuta versus Toumani. So, Matthew, I'll let you kind of kick it off, lead off. Who is the one player out of those two who you're more excited to see?
Who are these guys again? I'm just joking.
There are a lot of funny names this year. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's a big mix of guys. Like if you were to come into the season not knowing anybody that the Suns picked up, you look at the roster and be like, wait, what? Who are these dudes? Because a lot of them, you just look at them first, you're like, I don't know who they are. But you dig deep into them, you realize how great of a player they can be on the floor and help this team win a championship. Utah is, of course, the guy. He's a fan favorite. I think he released that poll, the DraftKings poll, where besides Bradley Beal and Eric Gordon, who's the best pickup, he was number one. I'm going to go with that. Toumani Camara, of course, in the summer league had a few games, but he plays like bigger than what he is. He looks like he can run the floor, be explosive, and be fun, but he's not going to get a lot of minutes, right? He's not. Maybe in the back end, maybe due to injury, he can. But Utah's a guy that's, I think, going to come in and make an impact right away. And, of course, I'm not saying about the best season, but I'm excited to see him with the starting lineup, with the bench unit, coming in and hitting threes. I think there's more to his game where he can play kind of just ISO, take a guy off the dribble a little bit. If he can find the mismatch, which there's going to be a lot of them because he's a big dude and he's very confident in his game, even like expanding it. He's going to be so much fun to watch. I think this guy, like in Brooklyn, they chant his name in Brooklyn. And he was the funniest, cutest guy to interview. And he's just so excited about Brooklyn and then building something. Well, now he's in Phoenix and we're building something here. I think he's going to be fantastic to watch. And he's actually my most exciting guy to watch this year.
Yeah, it's a tough start in this fun little game that we played because Yuta obviously is somebody who a lot of fans had their eyes on prior to free agency and said, hey, he's got the Kevin Durant connection. He is a left-handed Cameron Johnson, essentially, because he's a fireball shooter from beyond the arc. He meets a need that this organization has and this franchise and this team needs. Coming off the bench, somebody who's 6'9", a wing player who can handle the ball a little bit, not necessarily his strength, but his ability to shoot is going to be something that we're going to be very, very excited to watch and consume. And it sucks that, the Wheel of Names, which we got to come up with a better name for the Wheel of Names. That's the name of the website. It's like wheelofnames.com or whatever. So that's what I go to. But look at Matthew's actually like looking up to Jesus and be like, Jesus, can you tell me a good name for this?
What do you think? Yeah, it's like actually someone standing in front of me. How creepy would that be? What do you think, sir? No, I haven't. We'll think of
body of Christ.
Always come up with good stuff.
Yeah, so instead of the Wheel of Names, it's something that we like to do here on the pod. I think it's the second or third time that we've done it. But it's unfortunate that the first draw is Yuta versus Toumani Camara because Toumani Camara, after what we saw in Summer League, I think it's something it's a player that I'm definitely excited to watch. I know that he's not going to, as you referenced, get a lot of minutes and probably get a lot of meaningful minutes. He's not going to have truly an opportunity to develop. Although, given his skill set and given what he showed in the Summer League, I think that there's some opportunity for him. He played confidently. He looked like a man amongst boys out there. He really looked like a player on a different level relative to his teammates and the opposition in the Summer League. And, of course, his final game goes for a double-double, looks fantastic, and just leaves us salivating at what he could be because he's got the perfect kind of build for the NBA. I think Toumani Camara is also a lefty too. I think they're both lefties. This is a lefty on lefty matchup. I'm pretty sure it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamsters, but I think that it's lefty. So says Jay says the Wheel of Destiny.
Very rare for the Wheel of Destiny to start out this way. Lefty versus lefty.
Sir Hamo says Wheel of Destiny for show. Hey.0 says the Money Wheel. Look at you guys coming in. Sir Hamo, the Suns Jam spinner. I like that. Now we're getting to some alliteration. That's how you know the Suns wheelhouse from Ollie Woe. Jamsters never disappoint, man. Even in July.
That was easy, right?
And Hey.0 does say he is a lefty. So
perfect.
At the end of this, I do agree with you. I think that I'm unbelievably excited to see Yuta Watanabe and what he can bring to this team. The offensive aspect that I've ever so craved throughout our time as Suns fans is having somebody who has the ability to come off the bench and just light it up, Eddie House style. And when you have a Damian Lee who shot 44% from beyond the arc, when you have a Yuta Watanabe who is a plus 40% three-point shooter, that just keeps the offensive pressure on the opposition, and it's something that I think is going to make this team very exciting and very unique. So although I'm a big fan of Toumani Camara, it's got to be Yuta, right? Any thoughts on Camara?
No, I think you'll see flashes. I think when these games are kind of blown out, garbage time, you'll see a lot of him, and we'll kind of be excited about him because he's an older guy. What is he, 23 and a half years old? He's like Cameron Johnson. Well, I think Cameron Johnson was 25 or 24 when he came into the league, but this guy is already very mature and he plays very confident. But the Utah thing, man, that's going to be something that, you got to come to the stadium to watch. I feel like just chant his name, but also I think that he's going to turn into a guy that, because he's so big, 6'8", I know you said like the Eddie House, like coming in and shooting lights out. You're going to see a lot of, I think, improvement this year and a lot of trust from the other guys for him to actually handle the ball and just do other things. That's just my prediction.
We shall see.
And I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
We shall see. And are you ever going to call him Utah or is it Utah all year long?
It's funny. You said Utah and I was like, all right, say Utah. And I said Utah.
Utah.
That's what I went with.
Utah Watanabe.
That's what I went with.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue spinning the Wheel of Destiny. The Suns Jam spinner. We'll figure it out. All right. We'll give it a little spin ski here, and we're going to go with Drew Eubanks. Drew Eubanks. And we're going to talk about whether or not we're more excited to see him play or Bradley Beal. Oh, man. Poor Drew Eubanks, man. You caught a bad one there. All right. So we're now going to go Eubanks, or Drew Banks, as some will call him, and Beal. So I'll kick off this one, if you will. And I feel like we're once again stuck in a situation in which it's unfair. I think Drew Banks is going to be one of those players who will never excite us. I don't care. Like, you put him against Toumani Camara, I'd probably be more excited to see Toumani Camara. But what Drew Eubanks is going to bring is quality and consistency. He's going to shore up that center position behind DeAndre Ayton. If DeAndre Ayton, God forbid, gets hurt in any capacity this season, I think that Drew Banks can give us quality starting center minutes. And he's going to be a guy who just goes out there, gets the business done, is efficient, isn't flashy, isn't sexy, has kind of a weird-looking face, from a Matthew Lissy perspective. He could be a Spur. He was a Spur. What else do I need to say? But Bradley Beal, it still blows my mind that Bradley Beal's on this team, Matthew. Like, until we actually see it on the court, where it's Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Pardon me, français, but what the actual fuck, dude? Like, Bradley Beal's on our team. And if you told me this, remember the game in December where Bradley Beal wasn't really playing well and the Suns were beating the shit out of Washington, and Bradley Beal's like, you know what? I'm just going to go into microwave mode. Now, granted, I was at Christmas vacation at Scottsdale Fashion Square. I didn't see that game, but I heard the last 5 minutes of the game driving home, and that's all I heard was Bradley Beal going fucking nuclear against us. And now here he is, a member of the Phoenix Suns.
I remember that. And the games were so tough to win then. And it's like, all right, come on, just pull it off. And all of a sudden he wakes up in the fourth and you knew what was going to happen. Bradley Beal's going to be very entertaining this year. I think this is kind of my prediction going next year. I think Bradley Beal will be the fourth. If the Suns are going to win big, I think he can be the fourth best. And it's really tight, right?
Yeah,
between
is that the police coming to get you on this take?
Yeah, it's a terrible take, dude. They wait outside my house every pod. They're like, all right, this guy, they're playing our pod on the radio, on their little radio and stuff. They're like, here he goes again. Come on, boys. Let's go get him. So here they come. And just hold on, I'm almost done with this take. So just 1 second.
You guys puking in the corner.
Yeah, just hold on. All right. I'll be there in a second. Where's your warrant?
Sorry, Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal will be, to me, this is just prediction. It's very, very close. Booker, it goes in this order. I think it's going to be Booker's the best. I think Aiden will be the second best towards the end of the year. And I think that it's going to be Katie and then Beal. And of course, like, what are you supposed to do with that? But I really did have a lot of respect this year going into the season for DeAndre Aiden for some reason. So I'm going to give him the second. But then also Beal, he's going to be amazing. He's going to make a lot of money. And so you're going to look back in the season and be like, dude, that guy made that much more money than Booker and, Kevin Durant than almost everybody in the NBA. And he was like the fourth best guy in the team. But Eubanks, on the other hand, I'm actually excited to see him. But I just wish, I don't know, like the point guard, I guess him and Eric Gordon, him and Saban Lee, I have big expectations for him. Maybe Saban Lee and Eubanks can get something going. That would be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Beal. And of course, I'm going to give it to him. But I think Eubanks, him in the two-man game, I think he can pull something together with Saban Lee this season. But of course, I got to choose Beal on this one. That sucks, man. That's brutal for you.
Sorry, Eubanks. Sorry, you caught a bad draw. You bring up an interesting point about Bradley Beal, and I don't know how many people have talked about this, or I just think that we're still so excited for the season that lies ahead that we haven't actually put ourselves in a December 4-game losing streak, and Bradley Beal is underperforming. And he's getting paid, $47 million a year. And we're like, hold on, this is the highest paid guy on this team, and it's just not clicking right now. And at what point does the fan base become a little bit restless? Because it will happen. It's an 82-game season. There's going to be peaks. There's going to be valleys. There's going to be this team trying to find itself and understand who and what they are as an offense and as a defense. Bradley Beal recently said in an interview with Slam Magazine that he wants to become a great two-way player in this league. And I think on a roster like this, he can definitely do that. But again, there's going to be some challenges throughout the season. It'll be just interesting how we react, especially you and I doing the post-game podcast where we're literally reacting after a tough loss in which he goes, 3 of 19 from the field for 10 points and 2 assists. Like there's going to be that night where we're just like, this guy's getting paid $97 million over 4 years.
Contracts, right? Yeah, we always bring up the money with the poor performance. I don't expect a lot of that from him just because he can probably do anything on the court, like being the second guy or the third guy. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of Eubanks games where we come on here, we're like, what the fuck, man? It's going to be like the Jock thing where we don't play his drop for like 2 months. You know what I mean? It might be that way.
It might be, but I don't think with Eubanks we're going to run into that issue. I think that he's just going to be an unbelievably solid backup for this team, consistent backup. Based on everything that I've heard, it's a steal that the Phoenix Suns got him. And when we talk about price for value paid, when we talk about the challenge that potentially might lie ahead with Bradley Beal and relative to his contract, Drew Eubanks on a veteran minimum is going to shine. And I think that it's just going to be one of those nights where, you sit back and go, yep, that was a damn solid pickup by the Phoenix Suns. But sorry, Eubanks, you really caught a bad beat because you went up against Bradley Beal on the wheel of Jam Destiny, Jam City. I'm not good at coming up with these things on the fly. Sometimes I am. The Beal of Destiny. I don't know. Let's spin that goddamn
That's
wheel.
Pretty good.
The Beal of Destiny. Here we go. All right. So we're going to go with the new guy. He's literally been a Sun for less than 3 hours. Udoka Azubuike versus, all right, it spins. Jordan Goodwin, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Goodwin. Okay. So here we go. Do you hear the claps and everything? Does that come across on the audio?
Yeah.
Okay, so
live audience.
You can hear the live audience. Like, that was amazing. So in this round, we're going to go Goodwin versus the new guy. Right. So who are you most excited for, Matthew?
Oh, gosh. I thought you would never ask this question.
Azubuike or Goodwin?
So I'm going to go Goodwin. right? Know a little bit more about him. Know he's been on the team a little bit longer. The whole Azubuike thing is like, do we just not trust Metu? Are we kind of just on the third guy behind DeAndre Ayton? Are we just kind of upset in that situation? So we kind of need someone else as backup going in the training camp. Maybe that's the reason. So that's a little exciting. But I think with Goodwin, undrafted guy, lot to prove. Good interview when he first came here. Very solid there.
Yes.
So that's good to look forward to, right? Goodwin is the answer.
That is a good win for Goodwin. You know, when it comes to Udoka, he's somebody who he's going to be a two-way contract. He is a backup to the backup to potentially the backup, right? I mean, we don't know in what capacity Bol Bol is really going to play this season, but I think that this is just a depth play by the Suns. This could just be a preseason depth play. This could be a two-way contract guy you bring in, you let him play some minutes in the preseason because you don't want to put DA out there in a ton of minutes, and then when the season starts, you just go, okay, you know, have a good life or what have you. So I think that, you know, he's somebody who we really have to see not a lot of success in his 3 years with the Utah Jazz. Ended up averaging a total of 3.3 points, only played in 68 games for the Jazz. Not somebody who had a ton of impact on a team that at times he could have. Whereas Jordan Goodwin is somebody, you know, you talk about Saben Lee and the potential for him to be effective with the bigs, right? With the backup bigs, with Drew Eubanks, perhaps with Chimezie Metu, maybe with Bol Bol. But Jordan Goodwin's going to be the guy who's going to be the number 2 coming off that bench at a point guard position. I think Eric Gordon's going to play some point, and he's going to get a lot of minutes, and he's definitely going to get the backup 2 guard. But Jordan Goodwin's going to be the first one off the bench, and it's not going to be Saben Lee. I think that with the way that this team is built, when you look at Yuta Watanabe, or as Matthew calls him, Utah Watanabe, he's an offensive guy coming off the bench. Damian Lee, if he comes off the bench, he's an offensive guy. Eric Gordon is more of a two-way guy. He can play offense, he can play defense, he can facilitate a little bit. Bol Bol is a 0 on fucking defense. So if you're using him as a second-team unit and he's like your 10th guy, he's an offensive guy. Jordan Goodwin's a defensive guy. Jordan Goodwin is a younger Javon Carter type. He's a dog on defense. Mm-hmm. He wants to be better on offense, but he's definitely a dog on defense. So if you're going to sit there and you're going to put an offense out there with the second team unit, and obviously staggering minutes with Beal and Booker and Durant, you know, when they're all healthy, Goodwin's going to come out there. He's going to pass the ball a little bit, try to distribute, but he's going to focus on making his name on defense. And I think that you need that. You don't need 5 guys to go out there and play 0 defense and just try to 7 seconds or less you out of the arena. I think that you need somebody who's going to come out there and provide some of that. And I think that we haven't talked enough on this podcast about the impact that Jordan Goodwin's going to be, because we're both Saben Lee fans and we're both looking forward to what he can bring. And we think that he's somebody who obviously has the talent, and Goodwin is one of those people who is definitely going to be somebody who makes an impact on this team.
It'd be interesting to see him come first off the bench, and that might be something we can bet on maybe. For how long will he do it until Saben Lee proves himself? But then also Saben Lee might fall off. Maybe because there's more film on him that other teams have, they can look at him and actually kind of break him down now. Because Saben Lee got through. I think he got away with a lot last year, the way he was playing. He was pulling off these miraculous plays every once in a while to make you believe in him for a future like backup point guard. That's where I am right now. So It's huge for Saben Lee to come into this year and just make sure that he builds on what he did last year. Because if he proves himself, he'll be a full-time player for the Suns. And then Goodwin defensively, yeah, that's definitely what you want him out there for. I want the versatility too in Saben Lee, and I think he can bring that. But
I think Goodwin can. I think that he is a more talented version of Saben Lee. Saben Lee can't shoot to save his fucking life. I do think we have a winner, Ollie Woe, Elite Jamster. If you want to become an Elite Jamster, simply press the join button on the YouTube channel. Suns Jam spinner wheel thing. That sounds right to me. Well thought out. I think it's unbelievably accurate. So we will go ahead and we will spin the Suns Jam spinner wheel thing a couple more times here. And then we'll give it another spin and do it a little bit quicker. You know, do some other matchups, if you will. But we'll start with Chimezie Metu. And we'll put him up against... It's getting low here. Bol Bol.
Oh, this is interesting.
Ooh, this one's going to be a little interesting. Okay, I can be with this one. All right. So you got Bol Bol, you got Chimezie Metu. And I'll start out on this one. I'm more excited to see Chimezie Metu. Okay. I think he's somebody who is athletic. He can play on both sides of the court. Not great on both sides of the court. That's why he is who he is, if you will. He's somebody who the Kings tried out multiple times. He didn't necessarily stick. He just couldn't break that rotation in Sacramento. And it was a breakable rotation. And the same is going to happen here in Phoenix. He's not going to break the rotation with regularity. He's going to be one of those guys who we see for spurts. We'll see if there's injuries. But I think that if you go and you watch some of his highlights, I know he's not in transition going around the back and, dunking from the free throw line like Bol Bol did like 3 times last year and everybody's just, ugh. But I think that Chimezie Metu has a real shot of being somebody who can make an impact on this roster. I think Bol Bol is overrated, and that's just me. I think a lot of people have high expectations for Bol Bol because he's a freak, and he is. He's 7'2". He's got a 7'8" wingspan, but he's a horrible perimeter defender. He's a horrible interior defender. I've said it before. He's somebody who's too thin to guard the bigs and too slow to guard the wings, so he's just a guy in the middle. Whereas Chimezie Metu can kind of do both. He's a little bit thicker. He's a little bit more athletic. He can guard wings. He can guard fives if you need to. Prior to Bol Bol's acquisition and now Udoka's acquisition, he was the backup to the backup center, in my opinion. I think Bol Bol is a positionless player on a positionless team, yes, but I don't see a place where he can find himself breaking the rotation, whereas Chimezie Metu at times will get some quality minutes. So I'm going that I'm more excited to see Metu. And I can understand why people would be more excited to see Bol Bol, because I think in the arena, that's what the casual
Yes.
fan will be asking for.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting until you actually see it and you're like, okay, this might not work. The reason I'm going to choose Metu too is because I think that when he left Sacramento, he left like a lot of questions with the media. The media, like, or the exit interview, just talking about the minutes he actually missed out on. He wants to earn those minutes. He wants to make sure that he actually makes himself known on that team. He has the effort. He wants to be some guy out there that's going to make a difference on this team. Bol Bol, on the other hand, is a guy that I just feel like he's going to go out there, try his best maybe, but he just seems like a dude that's just going to be there, right? He's just going to be on the bench, be fun to go see, watch if he even plays that night. But Metu's out there to prove something, man. Like a lot of these players he is kind of underrated on this team, where he's a guy that just felt like he didn't get the chance in Sacramento, but now he has an opportunity maybe on a championship contender to really make his way into the lineup due to injury or just due to his actual play. I think it's almost there for him to kind of be a solid kind of third guy, maybe off the bench, but he just has that will to want to improve. And that's the thing I'm looking forward to most with Metu.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. I definitely think that a lot of fans are going to be very excited to see Bol Bol play, and we'll all perk up a little bit in our seat, and we'll be okay. But I think from an impact standpoint, and somebody who wants this team to win a championship, I think Metu is the one who can assist us in getting there, not necessarily Bol Bol. So back to the final two on the Suns Jam wheel spinner thing. Got to figure out how to do this here. I'm doing this pretty good. We know who it's going to be. It's going to be Eric Gordon versus Keita Bates-Diop. Ooh, this is going to be a good one, Matthew. This is going to be a good one.
I like it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about those two right there. Eric Gordon, Keita Bates-Diop. Mm-hmm. What are we thinking? Who are we more excited for?
KBD. I'm going to go that way. Gordon, I think you know what to expect, right? You talked about crunch time minutes where he might play an actual role on that team towards the end of games, which is something to really look forward to this year with him, and to see if that percentage, the 3-point percentage, can actually skyrocket a little bit more to 40% this year. With the Clippers last year, Eric Gordon actually played a little bit better because he's on a team that meant something, that actually had something to play for, even though there was injuries. KBD though, it's like, even like you're talking about him being a starter, a guy that you can slide in there between KD or next to KD and DeAndre, and a guy that's a perimeter defender, just all out hustle, high praise from the Spurs, maybe a steal like a lot of these guys, but he is a dude that to look forward to as maybe being a possible starter. So that makes it more exciting for me. I think Gordon is who he is. I'm excited that we got him. It was a cherry on the Sunday, right?
Yes.
He came into this as soon as they announced him, everyone's like, okay, now they did a great job. It was like, okay. It's all right. They're doing okay. But then as soon as we got Gordon, it's like, that was a solid pickup. That's good to look forward to because you have a 6-man on the team now that can actually play crunch time minutes. But I'm going to go KBD, man. Who you got?
Yeah,
I think you got KBD.
Going through the chat, Aussie Suns fan says Kada. Creepy Collie says Diop. Sir Hamo says, we know what Gordon can do. I'm more excited to see Diop play. Hey Zeros with KBD. Bates-Diop from John Nelson. Longer, better motor. Gordon from Joel Ramirez. Gary King says KBD. Both. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with Eric Gordon on this one, just because everybody's kind of talking KBD, and Lord knows I'm excited to see him play. But, man, I'm excited to see how the Phoenix Suns and Frank Vogel integrate Eric Gordon into this offense and what his role is ultimately going to be, because it's been quite some time since we've had such a quality sixth man play on this team. I mean, it might have been since Leandro Barbosa, I'm guessing. The Roadrunner, the police officer, as that's ringing in the background again. What the fuck's going on in your neighborhood tonight, man?
Old people on the loose, getting out,
just
living their life.
Yeah, on a Monday night, they out there getting crazy. But I want to see what Gordon brings to this team. I want to see what his impact can be. I want to see those last 5 minutes having Eric Gordon out there and just throwing an offensive mismatch at the opposition, and they're going to just absolutely just be dumbfounded in what to do in so many different ways. So it's going to be interesting to see that. I'm kind of pissed. I want to do the wheel Suns Jam spinner thing again. And so I reloaded it and just reset everything. I'm like, come on, man. I spent like 20 minutes setting that goddamn thing up. So we can't even do another whole nother round. I wanted to like pit more guys against each other.
Well, we can just name some off.
Yeah.
Right. And the Jamsters can just shout like the first 2 names that pop up. Maybe
there you go. First 2 name. We'll do it that way. Okay. So
you got a little bit more time.
Stupid jams thing. Namer thing, name of wheels.
That should be the intro for it. Is you trying to actually say the name?
I don't even know what to say. Yeah, like where did it go?
That's KBD versus Utah. Well, let's do different names, right? Or you want to do the same?
No, same one but different. All right, there you go. So let's start with this one from Hey.0.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Nelson said it right afterwards as well. KBD versus Yuta Watanabe. That's a great one because so many people some people think that Yuta Watanabe should start. Do you think he should start?
No, I don't think so. He might play himself into the starting position, but I think that's going to be due to injury. I think he's going to be a solid guy off the bench, but he's not going to bring anything to really like, okay, let's see what he looks like with the starters right off the bat. I think you have him come in, and it's exciting to look forward to. It's like, oh, we got a nice, crisp little 15-point lead in the first quarter because our starting lineup's fucking sick. And then Utah comes in. That's exciting. I want to see that. I'm going to choose him, of course. I'm going to choose him over a lot of guys. So if you go head-to-head with anybody, even over Bradley Beal. No, I'm kidding. But KBD is definitely a guy that we, like you just said, that you can look forward to coming off the bench that might be a starter. That's awesome. But I think Utah, what he's going to bring, it might just be – I know I said that Eric Gordon's like the cherry on the sundae. But if we find out that Utah brings something even more off the bench, that's very exciting to me more than what Eric Gordon might bring.
I think Utah is going to be the more exciting one because of the offense that he will bring. I think that KBD is going to be steady Eddie. I mean, he's going to be, in my opinion, he will be the 5th starter for this team. And if he is the 5th starter for this team, he's going to fill a role, but we're going to be so busy watching Booker and Beal and Durant and Ayton that anything that we get from KBD is a bonus or we'll be disappointed with, in all honesty. Whereas when Utah comes in, we're going to be really excited for somebody who can potentially light it up from beyond the arc. And that's just more exciting. It's like, chicks dig the long ball, right? Well, he's going to be chucking up 3-pointers left-handed and just with his cute little face out there. And everyone's
the headband too.
Yeah, the headband, everything
looks
about
good.
him.
Nice hair, flowy hair.
Yeah, as he's jogging back after hitting a 3, the hair flowing in the wind, everyone's going to be excited for that. And I think that, if that's the game, if we're asking who we're going to be more excited for, I think that that's somebody who it defines that. Whereas KBD, you need a guy like him, and we want him to be just that solid guy. Go down there, grab some defensive boards, grab some offensive boards, hit an occasional corner pocket 3. D a guy up, have some good help defense. I think that's one thing we'll really be watching with KBD is how his help defense looks. So it's funny because you look and everybody is talking about Utah, right? Like Ozzy Suns fan, EG versus Utah, 5 Eba or Seba, Utah versus Okogie. Like everyone wants, it's clear that that's to your point. We put a poll out there on brightsideofthesun.com. Who is the player not named Beal or Gordon that you're most excited about this season? And winning with 40% and pretty easily was Utah Watanabe.
Is Okogie though? Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
We're done. Is Okogie actually a new Sun though? Because he didn't really play in the playoffs, right? Because Monty just stopped playing him.
He's not a new Sun, man. He is. If you were to ask me what our best pickup was this offseason, it's Gordon number 1, Beal via trade, obviously, but from a free agency standpoint, Gordon number 1, but Okogie number 2. I'm really, really excited.
Kind of forgot for Josh Okogie. I forgot about. I know it's not a new Sun, but I forgot that we actually had him, and he's actually my starter in that lineup. For sure.
Well, I mean, I think it just goes to show you that he's just one of those guys. He's kind of low key. He kind of just hangs back, kind of gets it done.
Wears some flashy clothes.
He does wear some flashy clothes, but he's just you need one of those guys. You need one of those guys on your team. You need a Josh Okogie fuck shit up guy, and that's another conversation. Is it him or is it Keita Bates-Diop who even starts? And I think that's something that's going to be debated. If Keita is the one who ultimately gets the start, because again, I think that you bring Josh Okogie off the bench, just like I talked about in the past. Him, Jordan Goodwin, plus offensive players around them, like that's a good. Just they're going to fuck with you on defense, and that's what you want. You want to see that. So
team's insane. Going over these players like every pod, get more excited every time. I really do. I can't wait.
We're so far away. We're so far away.
We'll be here quick. Trust me.
Yeah, this is true. But it's just August. Everything you want's on the other side of August. And August is such a shitty month. I know you guys have probably heard my take on August. I hate.
I like August.
So
I like the storms.
Oh, gross.
Like everything about it.
I don't like anything about it. There's no football. It's just anticipation of football. There's no basketball. Baseball, who cares? It's 100 and hell out, and it's humid.
Yeah.
It's 31 days long. Just say it out loud. You're like October, November, December, August. Just phonetically, it sounds like shit. I can't say. I fucking hate this.
I think it's because I get so excited about what's next because football's coming and then also obviously basketball. But August gives you some time indoors to take care of some things, to knit, like whatever you're talking about before, crocheting or whatever.
Little crochet.
And watch the storms and hang out inside. Invite some people over. Invite the cops over with your bad takes. There's nothing wrong with August.
Yeah, see, like that's why I like October. Because October playoff baseball is going on, football's going on, basketball starts, and you have all the excitement leading into Thanksgiving and Christmas, but none of the responsibility yet. It's right around the corner. Like you don't have to put the Christmas lights up yet, but like it starts to cool down in Phoenix. It's just, you can get a little cozy. On with the crochet sweater that you knit in August, you can put it around yourself, and you're like, ooh, it's getting a little cool here. Let me watch a football game. And whereas in August, you're sitting there and being like, fuck, everything I want is on the other side of hard.
I don't like August over October. October is my favorite month ever. I love Halloween.
It is the best month.
That's the real cherry on the Sunday if I'm going to use that every time we talk about something that's great.
Maybe we should talk about strawberries on Sundays. Why does everyone have to put strawberries?
Why does it always have to be everything else but the actual strawberries or the cherry?
It's like, why does it have to be a cherry? Because the cherry has a stem, and then you're like, oh, this is great. And you're just like, oh, now I got a stem. Now what do I do with this?
Cherries overrated? They might be.
They could be.
They're never good. They're always soggy. I never had like a nice crisp cherry on top of my
If you have a good like maraschino cherry that's like, for like an old fashioned, that's
a good one. Nice and sweet,
good.
Right?
Oh, Joe Ramirez. August is the best. Oh,
I'm living in a place now where I've been in Arizona my whole life, and I'm like, it's hot out. All right. I know we're not sitting here really complaining. Well, I guess we are, but I just, wake up a little bit early, go on a walk, go on a run, and then go inside and just, the rest of your day's fucked because you're so dehydrated. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Sounds great.
You know what I mean?
I love that. It's the worst month. There's 12 months and August is easily, and it's 31 fucking days. Like, why can't this be one that's 30? Why don't we make August 28 days just for shits and giggles? Yeah. Give me into September already.
What we should do is we should start actually vacationing in August go other places, go to Oregon or something, you know what? And just do the pod from there or something so we don't talk about August all the time.
I like it. We can go up to Oregon, just hang out, keep Portland weird and such. We should go down to Australia. It's like winter or something down there.
You could do that.
I like what John Nelson. This is a good one. Jordan Goodwin versus Drew Eubanks. Who are you more excited for? This is really, I like this one because they're both in that kind of same camp of steady Eddie, not a lot of expectations, but I do expect them to just be solid players.
Okay, I think Eubanks is going to be more solid than Goodwin being the backup because I think Sabin's going to fill that obviously eventually, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you're totally right. Eubanks, though, to me, I think he is just kind of a badass, and he can be right. You can expect maybe more from him game to game to actually help you win off the bench.
Yeah.
But I've been so excited about Eubanks. I really am. Like when we started this pod and we was looking at the names, he was kind of like the last one I looked at. I'm like, oh yeah, we got fucking Eubanks, man. Like this is gonna be exciting this year to actually have a good backup, and it's not gonna be like I know I mentioned the Jock thing earlier, but it's not gonna be like that at all. This guy, there's a lot of expectations, but this guy is more versatile than Jock will ever be, and he's making a lot less money. I know we mentioned that before too, which is even better and just more exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, how the hell are the Rockets paying Jock Landale $32 million? Good for you, Jock. That's fantastic,
Good
man.
For you, man.
You know, but like from a price or value paid, Drew Eubanks, whose Instagram handle is Drew DeTower. The guy's just like, I'm really excited to I want to see his post-game interviews. I want to get to know who this Drew Eubanks guy is because he kind of seems like one of those low-key, as typically some centers are. You know, he's 6'9". He's 26 years old. He was born in Starksville, Mississippi, but he grew up there, up in Oregon. You know, he's somebody who's hanging out in Oregon. You know, he's the Shack of Troutdale is his nickname because he went to high school in Troutdale, Oregon. He's probably up there right now being like, I'm not down there in fucking Phoenix. Fuck you guys. I'll get there eventually, but I'm more excited for Eubanks. I am. Don't get me wrong. Like you're highly undervaluing what Goodwin's going to be. Saban Lee's a two-way contract guy, right? For a reason. And if he plays himself onto this team, it'll be at the expense of somebody like Ish Wainwright, which that's okay in my opinion. But I think that Jordan Goodwin is really going to surprise you. And I am excited, but I like Drew Eubanks. I just think I need him to be solid. We need to have that backup solid guy, right? We need to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Creepy Collie, you're just asking everybody how their weekend was.
Who's Gary? I was trying to Gary King. My bad.
Yeah, he's saying
right.
But he's just everybody who comes in the chat, he's just like some petty in the corners, like, how was your weekend?
I think it's nice, right? Is it petty?
I just think
that's someone's weekend. That's okay.
That Boyd's a weird dude. It's just everything he does. Like even in group chats, he's just like, "So guys, how's your weekend?" I'm like, you don't care. You just want to talk shit. Somehow you're like, I had a good weekend. He's like, yeah, you would have a good weekend, you bloody wanker, or whatever he says.
Bloody wanky. That was the name of my band on a rock band. Was the Bloody Wankies. You guys remember the rock band game? Create your own band. It was the Bloody Wankies.
I remember me and my buddy, like the song we would play over and over again, and we just had on point was "Spirit in the Sky."
Was that song on there?
It was one of.
I don't remember that one.
There was like 27 rock bands and Guitar Heroes.
I know that was huge, man.
And then the Beatles one came out.
Dude, being in an apartment when that was popular, that must be the most annoying shit ever because everyone played it. Whatever age you were, everyone was just clanking on the drum, on the guitar.
Spirit in the sky, man.
Should
I just nailed the drums.
Should we do a childhood trauma? I was thinking, I don't know if we did this one. I don't know if we have something else we want to talk about.
Well, I do want to talk a little bit about the Suns uni, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
So tomorrow they're going to release the new Suns uniforms. We've talked about it in the past. We've brought up some of the different concepts that have been out there. At Suns Uni Tracker on Twitter does an absolutely fantastic job of tracking these things. He scours the internet. He looks at like trademarks, and if the trademark has been filed by a team, like he's aware of it. It's really fantastic. Some of the work that he does taking a look at this. But tomorrow is the official day in which the Phoenix Suns are going to unveil the 2023 updated icon and association editions. And what's interesting about that is it's the first time that the team is or has updated those versions of their jerseys since 2017. When Nike took over, it was, Adidas previously ran it. Adidas is the team that took it away from the Steve Nash era, got us out of 7 seconds or less, did the new word mark with the new Suns font. And then when Nike took over, they changed it into what we currently have been wearing, the association, which is your home jerseys, if you will, and then your icon editions, which ultimately are your away jerseys, the purple jerseys. So this, I'm pulling up a graphic here. This is what most likely, I'm almost 100% sure this is what is going to be released tomorrow as the Suns' new uni sets. They have a sunburst streaking across the jersey like the old version that we had in 92, 93, but this is a much more modern version, a lot more clean, no gradient. The ball is white. It doesn't say Suns above the streak. It says it in the streak in a white font in that same word mark that the team has been using since 2013, the same number font that they've been using since 2013, with the white jerseys, the association jerseys having the number in purple with a little orange shadow, and then on the purple jerseys it's a white number with an orange shadow. So when you see this, Matthew, what are your initial thoughts?
I think they're okay. I think they're 100% better than what we had. They don't pop as much as what we had kind of predicted before, but this is fine. I'm excited to see what it looks like on the players.
Yes.
I don't like the shorts too much. I think the jerseys are pretty simple and good. They're okay. They're cool. I think they're cool. I don't know if I would buy one, but if we were to play in a playoff series and we have to wear these things, I'd be okay with that. I think they'll pop on the players. The white looks hell of a lot better than it did before.
Amen.
Last year and since 2017, the purple's been just, I don't know. It reminds me of Josh Jackson because that was his first year. And
yeah.
I don't know. The Suns part on the purple though, it's not gonna say Phoenix. It says Phoenix on the shorts.
It says Phoenix on the shorts. Yeah. They're going back to just the Suns like they did in the Sunburst era.
Yeah, and really quick too, there's an important question here. Los Suns says, "Are we getting a new court?" The current
rumor is yes. I don't know when they're going to reveal it, but that's what they're talking about.
That's very important to match these. They need to do that,
and I think it's going to have like a sunburst in it. That's what I'm kind of hearing. I'll say this about this jersey set: I absolutely love them, Matthew. I really do. And I don't know if that love comes from my affection for this design or my dislike of the previous iteration of Suns jerseys. One thing that Nike did when they took over is they took the Suns word mark and they made it like 3D, right? They added little, when it said Suns on the current jersey, on the association, the home whites, they added some dark orange to it to make it look 3D. And on Phoenix, and I used to complain about this all the time, on the Phoenix ones, they had light gray on the word Phoenix. So instead of it just being all white, it had like these little gray things. And I didn't understand that. Another thing that I really didn't like was the number. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to pull up all the jerseys in Phoenix Suns history. I've added, this is something that I worked on this summer, and I've added the 2 new ones so you can kind of see it juxtaposed. But if you look, one thing that I appreciated last season is when we ran the Sunburst throwbacks was seeing the white numbers on the purple jerseys because the white numbers popped. Whereas the previous iteration that we had with the icon editions with Nike, it was an orange number. And while it looks okay, on a jersey, it just doesn't pop the same way. That even like the Valley jersey, what made it great was that white number on the black background. It just pops. It just looks better. And I think with these new jerseys, you're going to see that. Now, the Suns is white on both of them. And I don't know how much I like that, but I really like these jerseys. I really do. I think it's a good homage to a throwback. I like that the Suns word mark is not on top of the streak, but in it. I think they're clean. I think that the marketing that's going to be behind this is going to be really nice. I want to see what the back of the jerseys look like because, again, one of my frustrations with the previous icon edition, the purple away jerseys, was you had on the back of the jersey, you had an orange number, and then the player's name was in gray. and I never understood that. When we got the Valley jerseys, or even like the city, or I'm sorry, the statement editions, those ones with the PHX and the gradient numbers, the name is in white, and again against the black, it just pops better. And that's just a design thing. And again, it's a subjective point of view. Everybody is going to be subjective. You know, Los Suns doesn't like the font number, which is fine. It's the same font number they've been using since 2013, all the way back when they changed. But again, it's when it comes to these things, one, it's subjective. And so there's no right or wrong answer. But I really like the new ones. I'm excited to see them unveiled tomorrow. And then I got a long piece already prepped for Brightside because I know it's coming, and I'm saying a lot of the same things that I'm saying right here, right now. There's the white, the ball's white. I don't know if I necessarily like the white ball on them. You know, if it was orange, I feel like that's one of our primary colors. We're orange and purple. Like, why not just make the ball orange? But I think it's their effort to make it, you know, stand out a little bit more with all the other orange that's occurring around it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think the best thing about this is they didn't have like the Suns actual the name across the sunburst like blend in or anything. It does stick out, so that's good.
Yes.
It just seems kind of military to me or something. I don't know why. It just seems kind of military and just like,
which I'm okay with.
Yeah, it's very crisp and cool, but like it just doesn't pop as much as I want it to. And I don't want it to be anything crazy, but it's just like the other ones we looked at with the suns above the sunburst. Those ones popped a little bit more. The coloration was a little bit more mixed, a little bit more well together. But this will do, man. I think we'll be a little bit more excited once they start wearing them, though. And someone asked about the actual jerseys, the
city edition.
So those will that'll be exciting to see what those look like too. But so far it's pretty good. It's good. It's good to me.
On the city editions, the rumor is it's going to say El Valle, so VALLE. There has, if you follow Suns Uni Tracker on Twitter,
like those.
It's different. I think Devin Booker had a big input into what they're going to look like. I think the fact that they're black jerseys is interesting because we're going to keep the same statement edition, which in my opinion, the statement edition jerseys are some of the sickest jerseys we've ever had on this team. I think they're fantastic. You know, just as PHX, so well. they pop so well.
That one or the Valley? Which one did you like better? I think the Valley, just because the Valley when it came out, was like, oh my god, dude, this is different.
It was a curveball.
It wasn't too much. It was too much, and the court looked good too with it.
Well, it's interesting if you look at the graphic I've pulled up. The Valley jersey is right next to the Statement Edition jersey that was released last year, and man, both are bangers. Like, they're just fantastic. I like the trim on the newer ones. If they had used that same trim on the Valley jerseys had a purple trim around the neck and around the sleeves. I think that would have been like a touchdown, 2-point conversion, all that fun stuff. But I really like the way that both of those look. So that's hard to choose. I own a Valley jersey. I do want a Statement Edition jersey. Like, I'd like a KD Statement Edition jersey just to hang up. I think it'd be absolutely beautiful. The last thing I do want to say on the new ones, you stated you didn't like the shorts. I love the shorts, and here's why. When Adidas took over, the shorts were really strange. They had like the sun, and then they had like the 3 wings. It looked like
the Phoenix.
It was just like, it looked like the Golden Claw on the Dragonborn quest on Skyrim. Like, that's what it kind of looked like.
Someone's been playing
Skyrim, a little bit. Yeah, I got a whole Skyrim story. Maybe I'll tell you offline. I got like so far in this part, and it's like, oh, I went down one storyline a little too far, so it fucked the main storyline. So I have to actually like go back to what previous say. Yeah, Skyrim. I'll never play again. I'm just like so pissed. And then when Nike took over, it almost looks like on the current shorts of the Phoenix Suns, it looks like the Oregon Ducks wing. It's like a sun wing.
Yep.
And it just doesn't match the rest of the jersey. So what I do like about these is it gives a little bit of homage to the old Sunburst where it says Phoenix on the left leg at a slant. And it has the streak going, which matches the top. So it's definitely like it's cohesive. Whereas before, it's like, this is the top and this is the bottom. These are your jerseys and these are your shorts. And there was no cohesion. Whereas this, I feel like there's some cohesion. That's just
it was just so random, man. Yeah, I remember first seeing those, but I do. The shorts are okay. I like just simple shorts, just plain shorts. I don't like so much on them. Maybe a stripe down the middle, but a full stripe. I don't like the half stripe, little dip here and there, little cut off on the bottom. Just make it a full stripe. I like the simple shorts. Maybe have it just say Phoenix and that's it.
But it has the streak that's going.
Down.
But it's the
doubles
streak
down with the streak.
It does. It's just we're Sunburst and deal with it.
They're good.
Yeah. So I'm excited. That's they said like 6 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll see when they actually
set your alarm.
Set your alarm, wake up, and pop on X or
If you wanna
Twitter
run,
or
get
whatever.
Childhood trauma.
All right, Matthew.
All right.
You said you had a childhood trauma topic.
Yeah, you know
we
what?
got about 6 minutes here. What do you want to talk about?
So going to therapy. No, I'm joking. No. So I was thinking about ghost stories. Like, do we talk about ghost stories before? Or like anything that you've ever when you were younger? Is there anything that was off? Someone say your name or anything? Because I'll go first. Obviously, you probably have to think about something. But so when I was younger, it happened a few times. I think I was around 12 or 13 years old, and it probably happened in the same year. Different houses too. This is why it's even creepier. I heard my name said like right behind me, and then right in front of me in the dark. So in the dark, right in front of me, and then I was online, or no, I was playing The Sims, or maybe looking at porn or whatever, late at night, weekend or something, and I was so focused. I think I was building a house or something. And all of a sudden I just hear Matthew. And I'm like, oh my God. I turn around. It was like an older man's kind of voice or something. And it freaked me out. I went straight to bed. And then one time,
how could you go to bed after that?
I don't remember. I did though. And that's the creepiest thing. I'm like, wait, what just happened? And then I went to bed. I think I did, or else maybe I don't know. I wasn't on pills back then, so I don't know how I slept. Gummies, yeah. Yeah. But the other one was where I was like I was watching TV at my old sister's house. She had a 2-story, and like when you look in front of you, if you're laying there, there's a kitchen and there's no lights on. It's pitch dark, and I just hear Matthew. I was like, oh my God,
terrifying.
So I turn on the lights, and I don't think I slept that night. But yeah, it was like twice in 1 year. So I was thinking about that when the therapist asked me, like, do you hear voices? I'm like, well, I heard my name said a couple times. I don't know if that counts. But what do you got any stories?
Well, what about that one time where you were home alone at our
old place
and you were watching Ghost Adventures?
Oh my God, I got a couple more too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the freaking makeup thing fell. There's no one up there. There's no animal up there knocking stuff over,
dude.
And it's just like it was like all over the bathroom. All of a sudden, you heard a crash, right?
Yeah, there was this makeup tray. It was like one of those stackable, just like pull out drawers. You Ashley put her my niece, your daughter, Ashley put her makeup in, and it was sitting on the counter. And all of a sudden, I was watching Ghost Hunters. I was really into it then, and there was a really creepy part coming up. I'm like, oh my God, here it comes! And all of a sudden, I hear a boom upstairs, and the thing is just knocked over into the actual into the tub. Everything spread all over the place, and it's like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like it had just fallen. It was like
it doesn't make any sense because it's flat. And if it would have fell right away. Someone knocked it over. Oh, that was creepy. And there's one more too, actually. When I was about 5 years old, 6 years old, my brother left me at my house by myself. He's like, I'm going with my friends. He's like, do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, oh, just stay here. My mom and sister weren't home until later. And I think it was maybe an hour. And I was sitting there watching TV, and I just had the weirdest feeling. I remember this, and I was sitting there watching TV, and I saw like a black figure actually sitting on the recliner or whatever on the corner.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, and I just could not move. I was so petrified. I heard them pull up, and I just ran outside really quick.
Jeez.
Yeah, so there you go.
Whew.
Something's following us.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. Like I had an older sister who used to tell ghost stories and scare the shit out of me as a kid, but like I've never had my name randomly said or things thrown or anything supernatural. I remember one time living in the house at the Toque. I thought I heard something like banging all night long against a wall, and it ended up being like an owl on top of the roof. Remember the old owls we had there?
Oh, yeah, the owls,
chimney.
Yeah.
And you could hear it going hoo hoo down the chimney. So like I could always find the answer. But yeah, Hamo says it right. You have the gift, Lissy. You have the gift.
There's stuff all around us, man.
Yeah, I don't have any childhood trauma when it comes to any ghost stories or anything like that. It's the real world that fucks me. All right, on that note, Jamsters, what we're going to be doing on Thursdays is we're going to revisit Start Bench Trade, the Jersey editions. So it's something that we did. I went back, like our third episode we ever did was Start Bench Trade, Jersey number 1. And what we do for the podcast, it's a history lesson. For those of you who want, modern topics, we can talk a little bit about modern topics. But what we do is we go through the history of the Phoenix Suns and a specific jersey number. We talk about the different players, and then at the end, we determine who you start, who you bench, who you trade. Now, there's some guidelines that we made up along the way, and I'm going to go back and listen to episode like number 6 when we did because by start, bench, trade, jersey number 3, we started to have some better rules because it's like some guys played like 2 games and you're like, yeah, I'd fucking trade that guy. Fuck that guy. So I'll remind us of what that is. But we put a poll out there on Twitter between jerseys number 10, 20, 30, and 40. And the Jamsters chose number 10. I don't know if it's because they cared or that's the first one they clicked. I'll tell you, jersey number 10 sucks. I went through, I put everything together on the 24 players. Like, fuck, all these guys suck.
There's a lot of them.
There's 24. It's the number 1 most worn jersey in the history of the Suns, and it's all by shitty people. There's like 3 good guys. So it's a history lesson. It's topical. It's fun. It's summertime podcasting. It's a time to get to know your Phoenix Suns franchise a little bit more. We'll talk about memories we have with specific players if they exist. And then we'll ultimately determine who we would start, who we would bench, and who we would trade out of those 3. And we'll be doing that on Thursdays, probably for the next month. We'll probably go jersey number 10, jersey number 20, jersey number 30, jersey number 40, because there's plenty of players in there just for fun.
We should just do it post game, like after games, just do it. And everyone's like, what are we doing?
Like, why are we talking? Eric Gordon just went off for 25 points. They're talking about fucking Kurt Thomas, number 40.
I do remember when we first started, there was someone that commented like, I don't know why I'm listening to this. What is the point of this podcast? I remember seeing that. That one will always stick out.
I'll never forget that. We didn't have a lot of listeners back then, and somebody's like, I tuned in. They're just talking about jersey numbers from fucking 1985. Like, why am I listening to this shit? But it's the summertime. That's what you do. So we'll be coming to you live Thursday, 9 p.m. to discuss those different jersey numbers and whatnot. Make sure you tune in and turn on at that time. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. You can follow me at Darth Voida and read my writing at brightsideofthesun.com. And you can read Matthew's writing at brightsideofthesun.com, right?
I'm back.
Matthew's back writing. So give him a read there. 8 and watch. Hold on.
8 and watch.
Where that's what you would do is you would write 8 and watches for Brightside. And you'd be like, he was great tonight, and here's why he sucked tonight, and here's why. Those were great. So maybe when the season comes back around, where can they follow you on Twitter?
At Matthew Lissy.
Fantastic. Again, everybody, hit the thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out with us on July 31st. And Matthew, what should they do?
Go home and love your ghosts.
Ooh.